I'm your host, Sabrina Salvati. I'm your host, Sabrina Salvati.
Hey, guys, what is going on? Happy Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. It is hump day. I hope my mic sounds okay. I think I figured it out. I think I had it on the wrong setting. So let me know if my voice is clear and you can hear me, all that fun, good stuff. Shout out to everyone watching on Rockfin and YouTube and Twitter as well. Welcome all. I just want to give some shout outs to people in the chat. What's going on? Hannah G says, I wish Obama would go away. You are not the only one. I want him to go away as well. And he just continues to reappear every time. What's going on, Lawrence Johnson? Always a pleasure to see you. Watch the Rittenhouse trial. The prosecutor almost had little baby Kyle in tears. Oh boy. Is it real though, Lawrence? Is it real or is he acting? I don't know. Shout out to Eric Thomas. He's a Sabby member. Hey there, Wednesday lefty friends. What is going on? Greetings, Ramsey. Doobie doo. What's up? What's going on, Shayar? Good evening to all Sabby misfits. Always a pleasure to see you. LT the third says Tulsi Gabbard 2024. And there's a couple emojis there. There's Santa Claus and a sun and fire and a mountain and who I don't know. And I don't know what the other one is. Oh, well, that's a bird. All right. Greetings, Valerie. Hello, Sabby Sabs and chatters. What's going on, Christian Gomez? Oh, shit. Let's get it. Oh, we are going to get into it tonight. What's going on, Ty G? Tulsi Gabbard joined the World Economic Forum headed by Klaus Schwab, leader in transhumanism. I did not know that. Tulsi has been doing some interesting things lately. What's going on, Ashira? Sabby Sabs, did you get my message? Don't know when you're talk about them. Oh, I did see it. I didn't have a chance to actually watch that video. I was at work. It's been a crazy busy time at my job because we are short-staffed and they are not filling those positions. In fact, I'll be talking about that Saturday on FHL General Strike panel with Nick and with Jimmy Dore. We're going to talk about what is really going on in the labor force in this country. All right. Let me click on that. What's going on? The Tory says, Sabby, always a pleasure to see you. Greetings, Leroy, who's a Sabby member. Good day, comrades. Shout out to Leroy. What's going on, Laura Hanson? Dang, I missed the opening song. Have a great show. No worries. No worries. Shout out to Little Rock Elevators. This is the Sabby Sab show. Let's get to work as Ed Schultz. Oh, yeah, guys, I do want to give you a heads up. If you are not getting notifications for my channel, it happens. I don't get notifications for channels that I'm subscribed to too. And I do have the notification bell hit. I don't know what's going on. It's a YouTube thing. I recommend that you follow me on Twitter, because I always share my live streams on Twitter. So I'll announce when I'm going live. I'll tell you what I'm going to be talking about. And then I retweet it again once I go live. So if you're looking for me on Twitter, my links are in the details tab under all my videos. Shout out to Delthea Simmons. She says, hello, everybody. All right. And I missed Abby. What's going on, Abby D? Hey, always love your show. Keep it up. Thank you so much. Awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sabby Sabs Podcast. I'm your host, Sabrina Salvati. If you are new, Sabby Sabs Podcast is a part of the Fred Hampton Leftist Network. You can catch me there on Thursdays for the Roundtable and Fridays for the Sabby Sabs Show. You can catch me here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Keep the weekends open. So interesting things have happened. Really quick, I do want to announce this because I don't want to forget to say this. Make sure you stay tuned to the end of the stream. I am going to show you a promo video that I made for the General Strike Summit. So you'll get to see everybody, all the guest speakers that are included that are going to be speaking Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for FHL. And you'll also get to see other FHL members too. Like if you're on my channel, but you're not subscribed to FHL, what are you doing? Go ahead and head on over to FHL and subscribe to them too, bud. Do the damn thing. But anyway, you'll get to see what all of the members look like and everything. So I'm really excited for that. I made that video last night while I was in a meeting with FHL for the general strike. So I hope you guys like it. So I will share that at the end of the stream. Now, what are we talking about tonight? You know, ladies and gentlemen, Barack Obama just will not seem to go away. Tonight, we are talking about Obama and AOC cringe climate take. Both of them had speeches about climate. They really messed it up. I'm going to get into that. I'm going to share those videos. We're going to discuss price surge. So I don't know if you have been paying attention or not, but prices are increasingly getting worse. I'm going to talk about that. We are at a record high right now, actually. And ladies and gentlemen, Terry Crews promotes Amazon. Oh, no. The buffoonery continues, ladies and gentlemen. The buffoonery continues. All right, let's get started with this Obama story, AOC story. So I'm going to start with the Obama one first. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Because like I said, Obama will not go away. He continues to remind us that he is still around. So Obama was recently speaking at the COP26 Climate Summit in Glasgow. And he had some things to say, and I found this to be pretty cringe, as you can imagine. Let me go ahead and pause this for a second. Because I don't really like the fact that he is trying to put the blame on other people. Now, when it comes to the climate crisis that we have in this country, that we have in the world, all of us need to do our part. But Barack Obama, I feel, is the last person that should be lecturing people about climate reform in this country and the things that we have not done. Let me go ahead and cue this video. Let me mute my mic.
You've been bombarded with warnings about what the future will look like if you don't address climate change. And meanwhile, you've grown up watching many of the adults who are in positions to do something about it either act like the problem doesn't exist or refuse to make the hard decisions necessary to address it. You are right to be frustrated. Folks in my generation have not done enough to deal with a potentially cataclysmic problem that you now stand to inherit. Vote like your life depends on it, because it does. I recognize that a lot of young people may be cynical about politics, but the cold, hard fact is we will not have more ambitious climate plans coming out of governments unless governments feel some pressure from voters. Yes, the process will be messy. I guarantee you, every victory will be incomplete. But if we work hard enough for long enough, those partial victories add up.
Okay, I'm going to play that again, and I'm going to comment in between because I'm about to rip this to shreds. Like, seriously, he has some nerve, the audacity. So here we go again.
You've been bombarded with warnings about what the future will look like if you don't address climate change. And meanwhile, you've grown up watching many of the adults who are in positions to do something about it either act like the problem doesn't exist or refuse to make the hard decisions necessary to address it. You
gotta come in here. It's really interesting that Obama's saying that. about adults choosing not to address it or choosing not to do anything about it. Excuse me, why didn't you do anything about it? You were in office for 8 years. If you cared this much about the climate that you say that you do, then why were you executing drone strikes in Libya? The military-industrial complex is the largest solo polluter in the world. So if you cared so much about climate that you say that you do, Barack Obama, then why were you complicit in polluting the world? You called those strikes. You made those decisions. Why? Because of resources, that's why. Killing innocent people abroad, innocent brown people abroad. So if you cared so much about the climate, why were you participating in making the climate worse? So these adults that he's talking about, he needs to put himself in that category as well. Has some nerve to try to call out other people, and he is just as guilty. Let's go back in.
You are right to be frustrated. Folks in my generation have not done enough to deal with a potentially cataclysmic problem that you now stand in here. Vote like your life depends on it, because it does.
Don't like this. Don't like this. Of course, he has to tie this back into electoral politics. Once again, this is an example of him putting fear into people, instilling fear into people about not voting. He did this when he was speaking in New Jersey, and he did this when he spoke in Virginia with those governor races. He tried to put fear into the crowd. Well, you didn't vote last time. Remember what happened when you ended up with someone like Trump? Here he is again, preaching to these young people, trying to instill fear in them. See what's going to happen if you don't vote? No, Obama. You, the party that you are a part of, does not give us good candidates. They do not give us the candidates that we need to get things done in this country. And you have the nerve to go out and tell young people that part of the problem in reference to the climate is the fact that young people are not coming out there and voting the way that they should. This is really what he's saying, you guys. He's not saying those exact words, but that is what he's telling them. He's telling them that they need to go out and vote, and then that is going to help the climate. No, it's not. It is not. The party that he is a part of, the Democratic Party, supports fracking. They're beholding to donors that are part of the fossil fuel industry. So the problem is not young people not voting. The problem is the fact that both parties are corrupt and they take money from corporations that continue to pollute this country. Both parties are warmongers and they continue to do airstrikes. They continue to do drone strikes. They continue to go into other countries and create conflict, making the climate even worse. I have to say something about this here. It is not the voters' fault. It's his fault. It's the Democrats' fault. It's the Republicans' fault, because they have been answering to corporations all this time. They don't care about the people. They do not care about the climate. A lot of people in Congress and in the Senate, they're not even going to be alive when these things happen. They don't care. Going back in.
I recognize that a lot of young people may be cynical about politics, but the cold, hard fact is we will not have more ambitious climate plans coming out of governments unless governments feel some pressure from voters.
There he go lying again. There he goes lying again. The government did feel pressure from voters when Bernie Sanders was polling number one. Got to remember this, guys. At one point, actually a couple points during the Democratic primaries, Bernie Sanders was polling number one. He was leading the Democrat race. That was pressure from young people. Bernie had the young voters. Joe Biden did not. And what did Barack Obama do? He did everything he could in his power to try to stop Bernie Sanders. So how the hell are you going to come and tell young people that they need to go out and vote in order to put pressure on the government to do something about climate when young people were doing that and you put a stop to it? You get the fuck. Are you kidding me? You were the one that made the phone call to tell Booty and to tell Amy Klobuchar to drop out of the race because you knew if they would have stayed in, Bernie Sanders would have destroyed Joe Biden. You propped up Joe Biden. You wanted Bernie to drop out. And you knew Joe Biden supported fracking. So how are you going to tell young people that they need to put pressure on the government by voting when people like you are just going to jump back in and stop it? Get the fuck out of here. Next.
Yes, the process will be messy. I guarantee you, every victory will be incomplete. But if we work hard enough for long enough, those partial victories add up.
No, when he says every victory will not be complete or every victory, maybe incomplete or whatever, the reason why, see, he is leading them on because he's not telling them the reason why. I'm going to tell you the reason why. The reason why is because politicians are beholden to their donors because of corporations, because of the people who have the money in this country. That is the reason why. That's why we don't get any progress. That's why we don't get real change, real incremental change in this country, because of the people who are at the top. They are the ones who run the government. They're the ones who run the country. Notice he doesn't tell them why. And when I'm sitting and I'm listening to things like this, I always have these questions. You should always ask, but why? He doesn't tell them that. He leaves it out. It is not because of the voters. It is because the politicians that you put in office really don't have any power. The people above them have power. And the people above them are the corporations. They're the Jeff Bezos. So that is the problem. Now, then he goes on and he says, well, oh, hold on. That part at the end. Let me hear that one more time because that really got me. Oh, work hard enough. That's my favorite saying because you know what? That's that same speech that they gave to us millennials when I was growing up. No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going in life, if you work hard enough, you can be successful. How'd that turn out for a lot of us that are millennials? How's that turning out for Gen Z? What you have to understand is that the problem is not the voters. The problem is not the people. The problem is capitalism. That is the problem. That is why in this country, you can work really hard and never get ahead. That is why you can work really hard and never get out of poverty. Because of capitalism. Because the people who are at the top, for the most part, tend to stay there. The people who are at the bottom, for the most part, tend to stay there. It is not often that we move in and out of these financial spaces. It is not often. Yes, there are some outliers who will get ahead, but they are outliers. They are not the norm. And the reason why that happens is because of capitalism. Because the people who are at the top, they constantly exploit the people at the bottom. They exploit the workers. Why do you think you see all these employees now going on strike? Because they are working insane hours. Some people aren't even getting lunch breaks in the middle of a pandemic. But Barack Obama here is telling you that you just got to work hard. You got to work hard enough. I'm so sick of hearing that. I heard that line going all the way back to high school. It's bullshit. It's not true. when you see how the system is set up, as you get older, as I got older, I started to see that the people at the bottom in this country, the people at the top want to keep them at the bottom. Why do you think all these billionaires, millionaires don't want to pay more taxes? Billions and billions of dollars. And they don't even want to pay like freaking a little bit more taxes to help benefit the people at the bottom. They don't want you to get where they are. Now I'm saying the quiet part out loud, because 9 times out of 10, you'll never hear them actually say those words. But they show you time and time again when they refuse to contribute to anything that is going to help people who are below them. Shout out to Justin Johnson for the super chat. Sabby channeling Bertolt Brecht, 99% versus the 1%. Thanks so much for the super chat. This is the core of the problem. And this is what I try to tell people. It's not so much Democrat and Republican. The problem that we have is class. The problem is capitalism. And until we address that, and until we fix that, we will continue to have the problems that we have in this country for years to come. People have to understand this. And this is why it drives me crazy when people feel that the answer is just to put more progressives in office. That is not going to change things. That is not going to make our lives better. Do you think the civil rights movement would have been as successful if it was done through an electoral campaign? No. The women's rights movement? No. That was the people rising up. People at the bottom, people in the middle, even some people at the top came together and said, we have to fight for these rights. We have to fight for people who don't have rights that some of us do have. That is what it is going to take. And if we continue to listen to people like Barack Obama, we will never, ever see it. Because one thing I'm going to tell you guys, once you are in this space, once you realize it, once it's revealed to you and you see it, you can't unsee it. Going to some of the comments in the chat. Jean said Biden, Trump, Obama, W, Bush, Clinton, gaslighters, in my opinion. There you go. Robert said we are seeing the most brutal form of capitalism, and people are saying F you capitalism. It's brutal right now. Eric Thomas says solidarity against billionaires and megacorps. Choosy Heretic says, LOL capitalism. No, we're changing everything, repurposing everything, including our culture, as collective consciousness is rising to a critical mass. People are waking up. And it's a shame that it took a pandemic for a lot of people to wake up. It's really sad. But to see him sit here and lie to an audience full of young people, just spreading propaganda. But he wasn't the only one lying about climate. He was not the only one, because Miss AOC had another cringe speech herself. Not so much a speech, but an interview per se. Oh my God, I can't believe she said this. But I guess I shouldn't be surprised anymore. So there are 2 clips here. I'm going to play the first one. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Here we goes. All right. So this is AOC. I'm going to play this video. Let me go ahead and mute my mic.
America is back at COP, and on the international stage as a leader in climate action and drawdown. One thing that I think is so exciting about this time is that When we say that the United States is back, it's not just that we're back in the way that the United States was pursuing climate policy before. It is different. And I would argue that it's a fundamentally different approach. America is back.
America is back? Back how? Are you kidding me? America is back? You know how many people are unemployed? What world is she living in right now? People are still underpaid. Our minimum wage is still $7.25 an hour. How the hell are we back? This woman she's delusional here. She's delusional. I want you to watch her when she's speaking next, because you can tell if you pay close attention to her when she's speaking, it's like she don't even know what she's talking about. She's just coming up with word salad. Listen, let me mute my mic.
At COP, and on the international stage as a leader in climate action and drawdown.
Ladies and gentlemen, the lies, the lies. No, we're not. We're not good on climate at all. How can you go sit in front of all of these people and just lie? And you can tell, I don't even think she believes what she's saying. Look at her face. Look at the expression on her face. Oh, let me come up with something. Let me come up with something to say here. Let's go back in.
One thing that I think is so exciting about this time is that when we say that the United States is back, it's not just that we're back in the way that the United States was pursuing climate policy before. It is different. And I would argue that it's a fundamentally different approach.
How can you say that we're leading with climate? How can you say this is an exciting time? Honey, the president of the United States still supports fracking. That's terrible for climate. Are you kidding me? Like, what the? America is back? And I forgot to mention this about Barack Obama. I still remember when Obama went to Flint, Michigan and pretended to drink dirty water. The water was fine. Why didn't you drink it, Obama? Because you knew that it wasn't. But America is back. We still have lead pipes in this country. We still have towns and counties in this country that don't have clean drinking water, you guys. Do you know how expensive it is to go to the store all the time and buy bottled water? And that's not good for the climate either. All those plastic bottles. What is she talking about? To just lie. Like it. There's another part of that video. She just kills me. America is back. What are you, the Backstreet Boys? Backstreet's back. All right. No, America is not back. People here are struggling. People here are still suffering. And AOC may not see it because she's all set. She's set for life now. For someone who supposedly grew up in the Bronx. Get out of here. All right, let me share my screen. Here's the second video. And once again, we got to scapegoat people. So here she goes.
No, we have not recovered our moral authority. I believe that we are making steps, but also kind of in reference to the earlier question, we have to actually deliver the action in order to get the respect and authority internationally to get the credit.
Then if she believes that, then why hasn't she delivered any action? If she believes that, why was she voting against things that she really should have been voting for? Why was she voting for things that she should have been voting against? You want to talk about moral authority? Why did you choose not to force the vote in the middle of a pandemic when hundreds of thousands of people have died in this country? That's not moral. Why did you vote present for Iron Dome? Killing more innocent people. That's not moral. Why? You want to talk about moral authority? This country doesn't even pay people a living wage. Please, with the America is back. It's not a back. It's not a back. This is terrible. Going back in.
We have to draw down emissions to get credit for being committed on climate change. It's really that simple.
No, she's struggling in that interview. I'm sorry. She's trying to think of what to come up with. We have to draw back emissions. You support funding wars, man. What the hell? It's like what they say and what they do. It never adds up. But to go abroad and to tell people that America is back, it's not only a lie, but it's pathetic. Because she knows that's not true. Go into some of the comments in the chat. Mental Honey said her minimum wage isn't $7.25. That's why she's so sure everything is great. There you go. And this goes back to the whole class issue. What I tell you guys time and time again, the people who have it, the people who are wealthy, the people who have that class divide that we have in this country, these aren't urgent issues to them. They don't need to fight for these things. They can go on different talk shows and they can talk about how these issues are important. But when it comes time for them to vote for it, they don't do it. Why? Eric Thomas said AOC serves big money like the rest of them. There you go. There you go. The same person who said that she would never give her donations to establishment Democrats gave her money to establishment Democrats. That was actually on her website, by the way. Her campaign swore never to do that, and she's doing that. What does that tell you about AOC? This is why I said you can't trust any of them. You just can't. Time and time again, they continue to let us down. But we are not back. We are not on the right road to climate. They can't even put the proper dollar amount for climate reform in this country in a freaking bill. They can't even do that. And then you have a lot of them in Congress that don't even support. They're like, no, that's too much money. When in reality, it's not enough money. And they know that. Casey said she meant America's back to 1900. Oof, 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 oof. Oh boy. LPA Film says, I like you and agree with you, Sabby, but so does everyone else in your chat room. Question, excuse my voice. What are we going to do to move beyond preaching to the choir? How are we going to tap into her following? So that is a very good question. That starts this weekend with the General Strike Summit. I'll talk more about that later on tonight in the show. I have a lot of things to say about that because we have to go outside of electoral politics. And by that, I mean outside of the two-party system. If you know people that are running third party or running as an independent, these are the people we need to be getting behind. We need to boost those people. We need to give those people our support and stop hoping that the Dems will do the right thing because they're just not going to. Like I said, it's all about money. It's all about the corporations, and that's who they serve. They do not serve us. So we should not go out and break our necks to vote for them anymore. Even if that means you got to sit at home. I'm not voting for the Democratic Party. I'll be voting third party. I'll be voting for independent candidates, but I'm not voting for them. I've seen this for too long, way too long. So tapping into her following, that is going to be the more difficult part, right? The easiest way to do that is through social media, but let's be real. I think we all know that discourse sometimes on Twitter can be very toxic, right? And there are people who praise AOC, and no matter what you say about her, they will never believe it or they'll never admit it. And that's what happens when you make politicians your heroes, when you idolize them. We shouldn't be doing that either. What we can do is we need to talk to people face to face. We need to go back to what we used to do, like back in the day when people would talk to each other door to door, sitting down, having this conversation with a coworker, having this conversation with people who may go to school with you if you're in college. That's what we have to get back to. Because I can tell you from experience, talking to people about this on social media can turn into a whole nother thing. People say a lot more when they're behind a keyboard. I'm just being honest. So you may not get through to them that way. That's why I said we have to go back to face, especially, and I want to be clear about this, especially when it comes to Black voters. Black people, we have to see that you're real. We appreciate it more when you talk to us face to face, one-on-one. So I think we need to go back to that. I think that's where that starts. And then the General Strike Summit, we're going to be educating people about a lot of ways, other things that we can do to take our power back. And by that, that means worker co-ops. That means unionizing. That means labor strikes. There's a strike coming up for Black Friday, a general strike coming up on Black Friday. I actually saw this on TikTok. And I'll tell you right now, here's one thing that you can do, because I know a lot of us cannot afford to leave our jobs. But come Black Friday, if you are the type of person that usually gets up early in the morning, goes out and buys a bunch of stuff on Black Friday because it's on sale, or you do it online, one thing you can do this year, sit it out. Sit it out. Don't continue to support the corporations. You see, because that's really who you have to hit here. The person we need to hit back at is really not a politician. It's the corporations. Because until they are affected, nothing will change. Just being real. Pat said you can only really believe someone when you meet them face to face and can read their faces, eyes, and gestures. Yeah, that's true. It's 100%. And it means more when you do that, when you talk to someone face to face. Now, these may not be easy conversations to have, and you are going to get pushback. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, but at least you're having the chance to educate someone. So don't become disappointed if people don't, want to listen to you, or if they say, I don't believe what you're saying, because I've had people say those things to me. All you can do is educate them and inform them. You cannot move their hand. They have to do that on their own, but at least you'll know that you did your part, right? So that's something we can do. And we need to continue to share independent media to people who don't watch independent media. A lot of times I noticed, even with myself, I was sharing independent media with people who already watch independent media. So I started sharing independent media to people that never watched it, like my parents. Now my parents watch independent media. So that's what we really need to do, you guys. We got to introduce them to other voices that are out there and slowly get them to move away from CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News, because it may not happen overnight. I just want to be clear about that, because people are so accustomed to watching those. Cable news is still a big thing, believe it or not. So we have to reach those people, the people who only watch CNN, Fox News. Those are the people that we're going to have to start reaching out to more. And it will not be easy, but we can do it. Jimmy Dore's Garage said, they said Barack Obama yelled at me for not voting. Yes. That's exactly what they said. Now, I told you AOC was sitting here and lying to her audience, telling them that America is back. Ladies and gentlemen, going into my second story, I'm about to show you why America is not back. I couldn't believe she made that cringe statement, considering the fact this is what we're having to deal with in this country right now. Heavy burden for consumers as holiday near, soaring prices. I don't know if you guys have noticed it as well. I have noticed it. It's a problem. Let's go into this article. A worsening surge of inflation for such bedrock necessities as food, rent, autos, and heating oil is setting Americans up for financially difficult Thanksgiving and holiday shopping season. Let me make this a little bit bigger here. Okay. Prices for U.S. consumers jumped 6.2% in October compared with a year earlier, leaving families facing their highest inflation rate since 1990. Did you guys hear that? I'm going to say that again. We have the highest inflation rate since 1990. The Labor Department said this on Wednesday, which is today. From September to October, prices jumped 0.9%. Inflation is eroding the strong gains in wages and salaries that have flowed to America's workers in recent months, creating a political threat to the Biden administration and congressional Democrats, and intensifying pressure on the Federal Reserve as it considers how fast to withdraw its efforts to boost the economy. Now, one a flaw here I want to point out, they mention how this affects politics. They say creating a political threat to the Biden administration and congressional Democrats. But again, as I mentioned previously, this is not about the politicians. This is about the corporations, and they are tying it back to electoral politics. Here we go. Fueling the spike in prices has been robust consumer demand, which has run into persistent supply shortages from COVID-related factory shutdowns in China, Vietnam, and other overseas manufacturers. America's employers facing worker shortages have also been handing out sizable pay raises, and many of them have raised prices to offset those higher labor costs. I don't know about you guys. I'm going to come out for just a second, but I was getting gas the other day and I almost had to do a double take because I was like, gas is almost $4 a gallon. I feel like I'm about to go through 2008 all over again. And that was not a good time. Not a good time for me. And everything is just so expensive now. I go to the grocery store. I notice the food is higher. Meat costs more now. And people aren't getting raises like they usually get. You have people being laid off. People are still being laid off, by the way. I just want to let you guys know that. Even at my employer, people are still being laid off. So all these companies that are complaining, saying that they can't get people to work for them, well, maybe they should stop laying people off. I just want to put that out there. Now, the biggest problem that we're running into is that this is really affecting lower earning households. So let me go into my article because I want to show you this. Look at this. The accelerating price increases have fallen disproportionately on lower earning households. Of course, because when the economy tanks, it is lower income people who are affected the most. I told you guys also during the pandemic, CEOs actually got increases. They made good money during the pandemic. It was the workers, the people who were beneath them. Those were the ones who struggled and suffered. And that's the thing about capitalism. Again, this whole article here can be summed up with capitalism because they exploit the people who are beneath them, overwork the workers. The CEOs are still making a lot of money. It says, which spend a significant portion of their income on food, rent, and gas. Food banks are struggling to assist the needy, with beef, egg, and peanut butter prices jumping as well. Let me come out of here for just a second. So, how can you help? And this is important. I think right now we are seeing an increase in mutual aid, which is needed. Now, mutual aid doesn't just mean that you're giving money. It also means that you're giving supplies to people. It means that you're doing favors or running errands for people that they may not be able to afford to do themselves. So some of the things that you can do right now, when I just told you about the food issue, if you have extra food, and this is something I used to do every year around the holidays, but it shouldn't just happen around the holidays. Donate canned goods, donate, other food items that you have in your kitchen, your pantry, to people in need. Now, you can go to mutualaidhub.org. I'm actually going to put that here in the chat. Go to mutualaidhub.org so you can find mutual aid donations, mutual aid organizations near you. There are plenty of them. So this is all across the United States. That's where you can start. I would suggest starting there. Next, I would say definitely make sure you check out our General Strike Summit this weekend because we have a whole panel discussing mutual aid. People who do this often, like Rome and like Afeni, and they're going to tell you how they do this. They're going to tell you ways of doing it. Rome was just on Twitter recently saying, if anybody else wants to help with mutual aid, DM me. So we need more people to do this. The more of us that help, the better off people will be. And I think that that is really important. We have to help each other here. Another thing that you can do, we are starting to go into winter in Massachusetts, although it is unusually warm today, but people need winter clothes. People need coats, hats, gloves, boots. If you can contribute those items in any way, shape, or form, please, please do so. There is nothing worse than going through a winter and not having the proper clothing. Nobody likes to be freezing outside. It is not a pleasurable experience. You can help your neighbor with their yard work. You can help shovel snow. Now that's a big one because snow is heavy and not everybody can physically do it. So these are ways that you can help people, babe. I almost said babe. I'm sorry. My husband's watching, so I almost told you guys, this is the way you can help people, babe. But this is the way that you can help people. And free babysitting, that's another one. Daycare is expensive. Let's be real. We got to help each other out here. Now, I just saw a comment in the chat, and this one is also important. Sam S5 said, give tampons. Not enough people give pads or tampons, hygiene products, and hand warmers. That is very true. Those products are not cheap. I've watched them increase in price over the years. So that is something that people really need. And a lot of times we mention those products and we think it's just people like women in other countries, in third world countries, that need those items. No, you have women here in the United States that need them too. So if you can donate those items, please, please do so. I am actually going to be talking to Rome soon about trying to set something up here in Massachusetts. So I know a couple of you in the chat live in the area, and we're going to try to do something on this side as well, because Rome is traveling all across the country. Just keeping it real. But yes, gas prices are back up. We are, I swear, I tell you, I feel like this is 2008 all over again. And I never wanted to go through that again. So those are ways you can help, you guys. I'm going to talk about, more of this at the General Strike Summit this weekend. So I'll tell you more about that towards the end of the stream. Now, we need to go into our third story because Terry Crews has greatly disappointed me. I don't know if I can play the sound. I probably shouldn't because there's music in the background of this video, and I don't know if it's YouTube friendly music, but I am going to have the captions on. I'm going to talk through it anyway. So here we go. So ladies and gentlemen, Terry Crews did an ad for Amazon, not an ad for Amazon that is promoting Amazon's products, an ad for Amazon that is promoting their labor. Terry Crews wants you to go work for Amazon. All right, so listen to this. I'm going to talk through it. So look at his face. He's all happy, excited, like, yay, Amazon, let's do the damn thing. Watch this. So he says, we're here. I heard Amazon was hiring 1 billion people and thought I'd take a look for myself. So he's sitting down and watch this here. Notice, see, it pisses me off that they did this. They have him sitting down, and he's sitting down next to a young woman who's in a wheelchair. And I don't like the fact that I feel like they are trying to take advantage of people who are disabled, and they're showing you, look, even someone in a wheelchair can work here. I hate when they do that. I hate it. So he's sitting down talking to her, and he's saying, oh, I can get tuition here. What do you think my major should be? Like the buffoonery of it all. He's acting like this is actually an enjoyable experience, you guys. Wait, I think you have a forklift. Benefits to it. This is the worst. Benefits, paid tuition, flexible hours. Look at the buffoonery. Apply now. Really, guys? All right, I'm going to tell you why that ad is so bad. You know, when I tell you that corporations have a way of trying to use Black people to pull in other Black people, believe me. This is an example of corporations of Amazon, let's just call it what it is, of Amazon using a Black celebrity to promote their propaganda to other Black people. Let's do an ad with Terry Crews. Everybody loves Terry Crews. Let's let him show people how great working at Amazon can be. By the way, the ad doesn't appear to be working because people are mocking it all over Twitter. But this is what they do. And it's not just Amazon. Nike does it. Cadillac does it. They use Black celebrities to promote their propaganda for them. And then we'll get so wrapped up in the fact that, hey, it's this celebrity that I like. And we miss the fact that that's exactly what Amazon and Nike and Cadillac want us to do. Out of all the companies, he did an ad for Amazon, working at Amazon, the same Amazon that is giving employees 15-minute breaks so short to the point where some people were having to pee in bottles. The same Amazon that wasn't giving some employees PPE during the height of the pandemic. That Amazon. The same Amazon that has for years constantly exploited their workers. And he goes and he does an ad for Amazon telling people, look at how great it is to work at Amazon. And he's smiling. He's just kind of dancing around. The buffoonery of it all. This is what they do. This is what they do. They use people like Terry Crews. Go to my screen here, because I see some people just joining. They use people like Terry Crews to make a buffoonery of themselves for a paycheck. And at the same time, oh, hold on one second, you guys. I think it froze. Give me just a second. I'm still streaming. It's just my share screen froze. And now the whole thing froze. But I'm still here. Yep, I'm still here. All right, I can see myself on my phone, so that's all that matters. But anyway, at the same time, it's just it's the buffoonery of it all. Like, he is basically, how could you do this and not feel bad after everything that has happened with Amazon the past couple years? Amazon doesn't even they won't even let their employees unionize. And you're going to go out in support of working at Amazon? Are you kidding me? Give me a freaking break, man. I can't. I'm going to pop into StreamYard with another window. Like, how does this even happen? Doesn't make any sense. Hold on one second. And they knew they could get someone like Terry Crews to do it. That's the thing. Let's get someone who's laughing and who's funny, who dances around. Let's get Terry Crews. Because they knew that he would do it. They knew that he would do it. So it's just, this is absolutely absurd. It is ridiculous. I'm entering the studio through another browser, just FYI. We will see what happens. So my Google Chrome has frozen on me, even though my stream hasn't frozen, but my Google Chrome has frozen. And if I click out of Google Chrome, I think I know what I'm going to do. This is a Google Chrome thing. And I can't X out of it either. This is interesting. Let me go back into. Hold on one second, guys. Oh, okay. Uh-oh. Okay. All right, guys, I am here. Okay, I'm back. Can you guys hear me? That was weird. You guys can hear me though, right? Hello. Let's see. Test, test. Okay, yeah, I am still here. All right. I had to go in through another browser. I don't know what caused that to happen. That was kind of weird. Give me just a second. Because I do still want to show that promo vid to you guys. All right, cool. I'm back on. All right, that was weird. I don't know what happened there. Google Chrome like froze or whatever. But anyway, you guys get the point about what I was saying about Terry Crews. It's just a trick that like corporations use. It's ridiculous. But people do it. People do it, you guys. And they'll continue to do it. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that was YouTube trying to come at me. That's funny. Anyway, it is 8 o'clock. I don't want to hold you guys up, but I do want to show you the promo video for the General Strike Summit. So I made this last night. Bear with me. I don't have the best editing equipment, but I did what I could do with the time that I have. And so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. If you wanted to know who was coming to the General Strike Summit this weekend, so Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., we'll be streaming on Fred Hampton Leftists, okay? So I know some of you are like, that's a long damn time. Yeah, it is. But there's different people, different segments and all that stuff. And we're going to talk a lot about worker co-ops, unions. We're going to have activists on. We have other commentators coming on. But instead of me like telling you, I'll just show you. I know some of you are like, just show the video. So here we go. All right, guys, you saw the lineup there, and there'll be other activists that are coming on too, but they weren't in the graphics because those were done ahead of time. But I do want to say a big shout out to Robin Durling. We owe you a lot of thanks, man. For those of you who don't know, Robin Durling on Twitter, she created the graphics. I did the video, but Robin, we could not have done it like without you, like for real. Like Robin was on it. Like I said, a lot of us work regular jobs and do this as well. So we did not have enough time to do this throughout the day. So definitely, you guys, like I'm super excited. I'm pumped. 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on FHL, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll be on multiple panels. Who all am I going to be with? I know I'm going to be with Red Berets Friday night. I'm also going to be with Afeni, Brianna Joy Gray, Rome, and Nico House Friday night. That's going to be a pretty lit panel. I'll be with Jimmy Dore and Nick on Saturday. I'll also be with Shahid and Glory Jones on Saturday. I think I'm hopping on the stream for Vanguard with Kamali. I'll also be with Franco on Sunday and Ricky Rance, that panel. And then I'll also be with Nico and Fee on Sunday as well. There's a lot of panels. I know we're going to put out a list at some point on Twitter that shows the actual lineup of the panels so you guys can see. But this is going to be pretty awesome. I'm really excited about this, you guys. And again, this is an educational weekend for you. We're not claiming to know everything. We're not claiming to have all the answers. But we feel like before we even try to do some type of a general strike, we at least need to have the discussion and we need to educate each other about it. I think that should be the first step instead of just jumping out there into the wind and not really knowing what is going to happen. So the people that you were going to meet, a lot of them organizers, activists, they've been doing this for a long time. They know what it takes to make these things happen. And I think that that's it's very important that we talk to people who are out there on the ground because they really know what's going on. Now, for those of you who may have missed that or just joined, I am about to peace out. But I'm going to peace out with that video. So I'm going to do something a little bit different tonight. So guys, here we go again one more time. Share this, hype this. I'm going to put this video, this promo video on Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, please share, please hype. I'm going to tag some of the people who are guests as well. We got to get this message out there, guys. This is not about subs. This is not about views. This is about educating people. So please push this to your friends and your fam. Have a good night. Keep up the fight.